Can you hear me? I hope. Okay. Into the chat. Yeah. Thank you, Evgenia. We have had a bug with our previous stream, so I'm just starting the new one, and I hope you will find it. Evgenia will help with this, and yeah. Sorry about that. It was not on purpose, of course. Just we had a bug with our previous stream, and it dropped completely. Yes, I just want somebody to join and tell me if we have a sound. Just a second. So I'm just waiting for response about the sound, and I will begin shortly. Okay, we have a sound, and I hope someone will arrive to this stream as well. Perfect. So I'm waiting a couple of minutes, and I will start. Really sorry about all these issues of yeah. So if you are joining the stream, you can just to start it from the start of the stream. Yeah, it's possible, and watch from the start. Okay, so I begin. Just one last check, and I will start. And the funny thing, I was completely calm before the stream, and here we are with all technical issues again. Yeah, I hope I will be more experienced next time with starting a stream. Okay, so I'm starting, and today you have a reference. You see it on the screen. We have a reference from Georgia, not from United States, but from Georgia country. This and I love this scene a lot, and I want to sketch it and to show you actually loose style sketching. This will be something like that, what I'm showing you now, but even more loose, not so carefully done with all shadowing here. I want to keep it really loose and to mention some important point when you start and getting into the loose style sketching with really freedom, releasing the control on things you can release the control, and keeping focused to be focused on points that will actually build for you good composition, and how to deal with things that are going not as planned. Um, in short, how to overcome mistakes if we have some mistakes and all that stuff. So let's begin with this sketch. I will start from the wash, watercolor wash, directly without any drawing. When we are going to switch to watercolor pencil, I will use some kind of neutral gray. It could be kind of muted brown neutrals. not too much vivid, not too much colored, but mm, neutrals. And then we will add some shadowing by watercolor, and while our paper will getting more dry, we will get into drawing, very loose one. Whether it could be a fountain pen, it could be just a regular drawing pen. Mm, this is our plan, so let's begin. Final check. Okay, I see somebody arrived to this stream. Okay, that's great. And you see my sketchbook. So in this example, actually, I have square format of the sketchbook. And when we have a very long, narrow format. But as you see, our reference is more like vertical one. So I will change the proportions a bit, even if I work on not so narrow and long format. But still, I will change some proportions of that reference in order to create something more attractive and beautiful, and to use the paper I have. Okay, so we have a lot of details on that reference. This is a rustic wall with all kind of stairs and roofs, and even a wash drying out, drying on the sun, and a lot of details, a lot of visual information. And at this point, I'm completely ignoring all that information, and I just check which colors I want to use for catching, for conveying this impression of this reference I want to convey in my sketch. And I really love the sky color, light blue color. I love this greenery, mostly with some yellowish shades in it. I love the yellow sunlighted walls. We have an orange of the wood there, so my favorite orange, Queen Gradon, Queen Sienna, we will use for sure. And I love this graffiti we have on the walls as well, with a blue, kind of cobalt blue, and even pinks. So we have a lot of colors there. And actually, in this first wash, we can use all that colors we love in a specific reference. And I just mentioned colors I personally love. So I will start from them. The only thing I plan in mind to leave as some areas as clear paper. Um, so this should be the walls of entry to this space near the house. So I will try to leave some space for them as clear paper. And we have sunlighted wall of the house. And I will try to leave it as clear paper as well. So I'm getting into the wash around these shapes I have in mind. This is the idea. And I will use all those mentioned colors I love about this reference. And I will start from light blue. My light blue, you don't see it here, but this is the light blue. It's more visible. Yes. Let's do it this way. And this light blue. And I have quite messy palette, so I will clean it now, because I painted before some flowers I have in the house, and so my palette is messy. So again, this blue, I will add some kind of phthalo blue, but not completely the same. I have another shade of the blue, and I will start my wash from the sky area. The beautiful in this approach, what we can be completely wrong with proportions, all these stuff. Something like this, and I'm going down to the shadow part on them between the corner of that house as well with the cooler colors. Here we have this wall, so I will leave it as clear paper. And I have another wall here. I will leave it as clear paper as well. And we said we have a light here, so I want to leave some space clear on this part as well. So I'm just leaving it, just kind of mapping out with light wash. Yeah? And into this wash, I want to get with other colors I love. So I love the green sienna. I use 4 brown orangey colors. So let's do it this way, and this part as well. And to the left side. And now this is really light. I want to add some intensity of the colors, some vibrancy. So I will use the same colors, but even with less water in the brush and more pigment. And I can make some sprinkles to make it really loose. And I will go into my blue. Now I will add some ultramarine blue. And if I add some color on one side of the sketch, I will try to add the same color to balance it, two sides, on the opposite side as well. But I will try to make it in a different amount. If I have more here, I will add less here. So for example, we have a lot of orange here and less orange here. Now we have almost the same amount of blue, but overall blue, we have more blue on top and less blue on this part. This is the whole idea about the balance of usage of same colors. So I'm trying to talk and to make it really fast and it's not working well all the time. So a bit more sprinkles, but now with the cooler colors. And we mentioned we have some green and yellowish green. So I will use this azure yellow, and I have olive green a bit. And with the blues on the palette, it will create some kind of a green. And I add it with a lot of water. So my dog is barking. Sorry about that. And I'm adding another um, another spots of green on the opposite side. We have some green here, but I will not use it on this specific place. I will just use it on above this wall, even if I don't have actually green there, because I'm the boss of this painting, of this sketch, and I can do whatever I want to make it more beautiful in my own eyes. Yeah. But this is again about the balance. So if I use here that color, I will use on other part. I can absolutely use it here as well, but I think but this area will work with the green much better. So now our wash is almost done. We mentioned also some more blues from the wash, drying wash, and from the graffiti, but perhaps it's better to add it afterwards on as a fine details, but I will still add of this color in some places. Let's add it here. And here. And even to make it a softer edge. And this is too much blended and spread it out, so I will still add some green, olive green, and I mix it with ultramarine blue to get a bit darker green, and to add some more brush work, suggesting a tree, greenery. But now in shadow, something darker. And the same, even with more ultramarine. On the left side. And I think this is enough for the first initial wash. Direct action after that is to use the watercolor pencil. So I have here some neutral brownish gray. I will use that color or gray, mountain gray. And I will use it directly on the wash, and in some places wash is so wet, so I will get kind of velvety line, more thick line, and in some places it would be on dry and I will get more textured line. And I'm just looking at the reference and starting to draw. So let's try this color, how it works. So I have corner, and I don't love this is completely on the same level, so perhaps I will move this wall to the right side to map it as well. I have kind of something there behind the wall and a lot of visual information again, but at this point I still ignore all the details, those details, and I focus on the main lines of the building structure. So we have there mm, another wall, and another wall in a different plane. So according perspective, I'm completely not following the perspective precisely. I just take the overall main direction of those lines and use them. If I get wrong with some directions, it's okay. It's completely loose style, and this is idea of that style. So we will not stress about it. And I get into another corner the same level, and I don't love it too much, but okay, we will deal with this a bit later. So another line, we have something getting out of another line and another line of next wall. Okay. And all lines of that perspective, because of this is photo shoot, this is camera lenses, and really weird angle of photo, we have a lot of mm, weird lines, let's say it this way, in different directions. And I will not waste time on clearly understanding how perspective is working here. I will just focus on the main shapes I see. So I see there some more dark shapes and I follow them. So next I see a window, another window. Just want to check. Another window, as I said. And this place is still empty. And we have this entire wall. And let's move it a bit righter to that corner line. This way. And we have a line of the basement of that wall of the house inside. And as I said, these proportions are really different from the reference. But I wanted to leave this space as clear paper to make the balance between this empty space, this empty space, and this empty space. And by this, to create on these parts more of visual contrast of drawing and perhaps with the shadowing after. This is the idea behind this decision. But at this point, I still continue with watercolor pencils. And we have there this beautiful structure of a roof, and like a porch or deck on the wooden construction with a sign, some greenery below, and communications or electricity box or something like that. I really don't get all these details, but I do want to draw these steps, and then another. And actually, it's hidden by the wall, but I will just continue it and leave it as it is. Now we have another roof there, and and next stairs, roof, and that's all getting into the left lines of the windows and all part in a shadow. But this is enough. I just following the main lines I see on reference, and I'm even not trying to understand clearly what's going on there, just drawing them as I see. Then we have a window on that side and some window on that side, another window here, and that's it. I think this is enough for the watercolor pencil section of the work. And it's almost dry. I'm just checking how much wet the paper is and where I can get with our drawing. So I think on that part we can get with our drawing for sure. It's clear paper. So I will use fountain pen. And now the most interesting part is begin. I will start from all these weird construction we have here because I want this to be a focal point and to create the maximal contrast there. Contrast by of the values because we have lightest light of clear paper and darkest dark of the pen. And then we will see if we have to use another contrast as well. So I will start directly from this point and I will try to make my drawing really loose, not to be too much precise, and to follow the right directions, too much clear. Again, I don't want to get into details and to lose the freedom of my drawing. If I have some repetitive lines like vertical lines of that fence, I will try to make them with a different distance and sometimes to press more, to make more movements of the drawing pen, to make them more thick, and in some places to leave them as cut out. And I just following the reference and trying to get the lines that are more in shadow more dark than others. That's all what I do. So we have here as well, and we have some textures there, so I can show it as well. Then this wooden frame and the sign. The bottom part of the stairs for sure is darkest dark there, so I will use more drawing lines there to show some stairs. Again, not too much, so I'm just suggesting the stairs there. And next, we have this really weird um, roof on that with the wood, and it looks like it will fall next moment, yeah. And so something like that. It's for sure darker, darkest place as well, but let's see how we deal with this afterwards. Now we have another roof sunlighted, so it will be light, and another wooden deck construction with fence and stairs. So I'm just getting into more lines there to show it more. And now we're going down the next part. And next stairs we actually not supposed to see, but we will just suggest the continue of, of that part, and that's all. Okay, so we get clear focal point here already, but we will more emphasize it in next steps. Let's add some drawing on other parts of the clear paper. So I will show the shape of those windows with a grill there as well. Again, I'm trying to keep my movements really loose. And this is about your inner rhythm. If some music could help you to achieve this, it would be a really good point to use some music while sketching or painting, um, and to change the energy of your movements, like you dance with a pen on the paper. And this will create some more interesting lines for you, for sure. Yeah, perfect. We are continue to the left side. Now it's dry already, so I'll just continue to the left side. And I start add some more shadowing in places I see a more deep shadow on the reference. We have a wash there, so everything we will add, a drawing pen, fountain pen, doesn't matter, will naturally get more dark impression relative to the clear paper. Yeah, of course, it's obvious. Um, but in some places, let's do even more deep shadow, but still let's show some these beautiful construction lines, vertical and horizontal, of course in diagonal because of the perspective shortening. But again, these angles of the lines could be really free and loose, even if we're wrong with the precise direction of the perspective here. So there we have some wash and other stuff. So I will stop at this point because, as you remember, I added some greenery here and I still want to use it. So I will move to the left side more to add the upper part of the buildings. We have again some more shadow there under the roofs. Some diagonals of the wooden construction, the wall, and something. This is a pipe or something from metal. And we can show these lines on this construction as well. And another roof, the shadow under. We have another line between two sections of the wall and the windows. And here I will start to draw the window, but I still want to use the greenery here, so I will stop at this point, and perhaps I will even continue some lines to suggest other details that I actually don't see from the picture. And this is the reason this is always nice to take more pictures from the site you want to paint, to draw at home, to make sketches. Because camera always gets much less information than we see on site, so it's better to make a lot of photos of pictures of the same space, the same place. And another window, and this beautiful wall here. And it has some pattern. Let's show it as well, like it has a roof as well. And again, with all repetitive elements, I'm trying to be different as I can, to use various approach even to the same element. Sometimes I start with more pressure, sometimes I make different distances, and this what creates the difference and more attractive, more interesting picture at the as a result. And have another something I see there, like kind of tube shape. mm, stand for something. And I move to the right side now. Same. I have it. I think it's supposed to be the doors of this entire yeah. And the top part of this wall. The same. We have there some pattern and the basement. And I will show you the lines. Mm, see this? Um, the road and the direction with something slopey, tilted, something on the ground. So I will show it just with the drawing lines. And I move to the right side as well. Have a communication there, the wall made from wood. So I will show this pattern. Again, different distances, different pressure on the pen, some vertical, sorry, horizontal, or more right to say diagonal lines. And the windows there, they will be hidden by the greenery, not as an on reference, but I still show some main lines of those windows and construction in general. And there we have the roof of this house part, and then we have something like that there, but never mind. Again, it doesn't supposed to be really clear what is going on there if we ourselves don't understand what is going on there. So we just can follow them, how much dark and how much light the place is. Okay, so I will make something like that. And so we started from the focal point with the most contrast and moved to the left, then down like in a circle. Yes, we did first round of details. Now let's make another round of details and add some more. Something I forgot to make as a detailing by pen is on the greenery. So let's add it. Let's actually invent this greenery on left side. So I will just show kind of a tree we see there by rounded and really loose curvy lines. Sometimes with more lines in one place to make more dark places, and sometimes to leave more wash of watercolor. And we can show some leaves getting out from this greenery, these trees, to this side, like kind of detailing. And darker details closer to the wall. Okay, just to make them really as different, to make contrast more emphasized, to show this contrast even more between two parts. And greenery on the right side, same curvy lines. And watercolor wash is much lighter on this place, so we can see the lines of fountain pen much better. And the same, I will make some leaves getting out of all the mass of this greenery on the windows, more like single leaves, and more united shapes for overall trees closer to the wall. And we have some branches of the tree above the viewer actually, and they are getting out from the right top corner. So we can show them these leaves as single ones in some places, just to suggest that something exists there, to add even the lines of the branches and twigs of these three. And if some leaves will be orange or blue, it's okay. I'm really trying to keep all that stuff here loose and almost abstract. And I will not continue to show all those leaves above um, the house we see here, as I said. So I will just stop to this point this way. Now, when we finished this round with a pen, let's add some more contrast of values to our focal point. And for this, I will use brush. My pen inside is filled with water-soluble inks. So I actually can just apply some water and to spread the color. This is option 1, to use the color of the ink. And I have brown ink in the pen. But I think it will be too much boring because it's only brown, and I still want to keep the balance of cool and warm colors, because this balance is actually built for us natural looking live results. and it will much more professional and beautiful looking result. So I will still use some watercolor for adding these contrasts. So I will use a small brush, ultramarine blue, queen sienna, um, and I will try to blend these colors directly on the paper to make the wash of the shadow to look more beautiful. So I just load a brush with the ultramarine blue and start the wash. And directly to this, I add green sienna. And I will continue with sienna in some places of this construction. And then again to switch to ultramarine blue to add darker values with the cooler shades. And I continue to over all this construction. Again, I run out the blue, so I load some more blue. Have another line there, so I will. And again, I start from the blue. We have still have this weird roof. And again, green sienna. This way I get more interesting, visually interesting shadows. Ultramarine blue and green sienna. And I add these colors in some places on my drawing. But as you see, I don't add it to all. I don't make the outline. I just add it in some places of the drawing lines, and I add it to the places I see deep shadow there. And this will create more contrast on this place. I still have on the reference really deep shadow here, and I think I should add it as I see, because it's look a bit not so three-dimensional without any space there. In short, it looks flat. Okay, so I will make use the same concept. I disregard all the details and all visual information I have there. I just use my ultramarine blue and add green sienna. This mix gives me gray. For anyone who doesn't familiar with my favorite colors, these two are my favorite couple of the colors to make the perfect gray for me. And the same I do here. And if I see too much warm on some place, I will add more ultramarine. Okay, so now we have much more depth in this place. And even let's make it this way. And we will leave light on the top part, and I will still add some shadow on this small gap between. Um, so same approach, ultramarine blue and green sienna. And I will add ultramarine blue to this part to show the plane change of the wall in general, and some lines to suggest this the same plane actually on this wall. And I will use this blue from the sky to show all this part of the building. And I think the contrast here is almost done. Just let's add some reflections of the sky on windows. And for this, I will use the color I used for the sky. It's really beautiful blue, but it's blending with the inks of the fountain pen, and I get muted color in some places on window, and this works really good with the reference with what we actually see there. And this is enough. On this part, I think the contrast is achieved, and we can end up with this contrast on this place. Now let's add some more. Same concept, ultramarine blue and queen sienna, to add some darker values on details that demand more thick lines. Okay. And we move to the left side. I want to use here more shadow, and to unite this shadow in approach to these parts of the shadow. So I will use just a larger brush, use same colors, ultramarine blue, green sienna. I get kind of gray, something neutral. And let's add the shadow here. And as we move to the light part, let's leave some light details. And more shadow to the bottom part of the building. And then we have a shadow on the ground. So let's show this as well. And if we are working on the shadow, so let's add it more to this frontal wall entirely. Okay, so now we actually have all that part in shadow. Actually, on reference, all this left side is in shadow as well, but I will keep it in a mid tones because our main part, actually, the main contrast, the focal point is here. So I'm focused here and I want to create the main contrast on this place. But if I will get into the shadow, all the left part, it will because of this empty space and clear paper here, it will create much visually a larger contrast on this side, and I wanted to avoid this. This is the reason I don't want to add shadow more on this place, but I want um, kind of to connect these two parts, and I will use the sky color just to make something like that to make the connection. And to break this large in size contrast between these two parts, because I want all focus of the viewer to be here. And for this, actually, we created kind of staging, yes, with our, like in a theater, um, uh, right and left sides, and the scene in the center. And if I made this action on left side, so I will add the same on the right side a bit, not too much. I don't want to really to draw the graffiti on these walls. And now we can add some final details of adding some these beautiful colors we see there. If we want, of course, I see there pinks, as I said, and blues. And I want to use some watercolor pencils for this or watercolor crayons. So let me second. I have all that beautiful stuff here, so I will pick up um, color blue, and I want to try it. No, it's not a good color. So perhaps even this one. I know this is completely different from the reference, but I love it more because of the sky color. So for blue, I will use this one. And if my surface is dry, I can add this. Here is a bit wet, so I don't have good coverage, but on dry surface, it will give really good coverage, still wet. Okay, so I will just add it in some dry places, and that's all. Even if my wash on the reference in completely different places, it's okay. And by this repetition of the color, here, 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 I create a rhythm of color, of the same color. And all these small details will lead the viewer to, again, to our focal point. So instead of the graffiti I see there, I will use some details in this color. We have some papers there, some graffiti, kind of letters and signs. So I will add some abstract, absolutely abstract marks there, but in this color to make this rhythm. And the same, we can add this color on the right side. I will add it on the window to show the reflection of the sky. And add it here as well, and a bit on those windows. And really tiny marks on this right side. And we have pinks there as well. Actually, we don't have any pink yet in this painting, in this sketch. But let's try it out. The sketch is the place to try out new approaches and new ways of colors, combinations, and so on. So I will add these pink marks on the wall. And we have a Georgia flag there. And the same, I will add some details on the right side. And let's add pink to the drying wash as well. Of course, viewer will not understand what this is actually drying wash on the sun, but we know it, and this is enough for us to add this color. And we can even to add it to the window to suggest pink curtains, perhaps. Why not? Actually, I love this pink, especially near the greens. So let's add it. It could be even flowers on the greenery. So let's suggest some flowers. Okay. And I think this is enough with a pink. What else? Now let's check the sketch, and actually we can finish it as it is, or as a final detailing if we have some time. We can over on the dry surface over again with the pen details, because washed out pen line with the water as it was done here just removes all the contrast of the pen work. So if this is dry enough, and this is not, you can add over some other details with a pen. So I will just check the places that really dry and finalize this sketch with some pen details over all other stuff we have. So we can add some darker branches and darker leaves. Mm, and perhaps to show there some greenery as well. And this the usage of trees or any plants or greenery with architectural details usually gives us the contrast, another contrast of human-made objects and nature objects. And this visual contrast works really well. So why not to use this? And this why we in all architecture scenes we always look for some plants or flowers or trees or all that stuff. We can show more details on the wash and some lines on dry surface. Now it's dry, so I can add these lines I wanted to add from the start. And can show the connection between the wall and the road with some vertical lines. And really in few places this is enough. And to continue some lines to suggest to the viewer or the continue of that scene, but we are not going to finish actually because we don't know actually what is going on there. But they can show something happening on the left. And I think we can uh, finish this sketch this way. So as you see, the beauty in this approach is that we can completely free in proportions to change the scene, to change the reference we see, and to focus on things that's really interesting for us as an artist. Because for me, it was this specific reference was really interesting because of all that stuff that's going on here. And this is the reason I focused on this place. And all other details like proportions, right perspective, right colors, and right lines, and everything you can relate as right to be right. It's actually the secondary and not the primary. So this is the final point I wanted to end this stream. Thank you for being here, and I'm happy you arrived. And sorry about this bug. I hope it will not happen again. I will make sure I'm on the right stream, and I hope it will not back. In short, yeah. So thank you, and I will see you in the next streams. And thank you for joining the Flow Room. Join the Facebook group, of course, and share your sketches you do with me or with the same approach, but on your references. I will happy to see them. So see you in the next stream, and bye. Bye bye.